Ukrainian forces are systematically eliminating Russian forces in Pokrovsk, Donetsk region, and the surrounding areas. All components of the Ukrainian Defense Forces are contributing to the destruction of the enemy troops and the defense of the city. In this case, the Special Operations Forces continue to restrain the advance of Russian troops on the approaches to Pokrovsk, according to the 144th Center of the Special Operations Forces. Operators of FPV drones and heavy bombers of the 144th Center of the Special Operations Forces continue to eliminate enemy infantry attempting to infiltrate toward Pokrovsk in small groups. Coordinated work of Ukrainian crews allows for the precise dropping of munitions and the directing of strike drones directly at Russian soldiers. According to the military, enemy units attempt to break through to the city both during the day and at night, but the Special Operations Forces systematically disrupt such attempts. These actions significantly strengthen the defense and help Ukrainian forces maintain their positions on the ground, repelling the occupiers' assaults. Heavy fighting continues in Pokrovsk, as Russian forces have managed to enter the city. According to RBC Ukraine sources, around 1,000 Russian soldiers may have broken through into Pokrovsk. However, the partial successes of the Russian forces were countered. On November 3, the 7th Rapid Response Corps of the Ukrainian Air Assault Forces reported that Ukrainian defenders had stopped the enemy's advance in northern Pokrovsk. Ukraine managed to hold a strategically important road, and several operations were carried out by the assault units of the Defense Intelligence. Fighting inside the city has intensified in the past few days, after Russian troops successfully infiltrated it. The fall of Pokrovsk, the strategic value of which has already been greatly diminished, but which would nevertheless represent the biggest win for Moscow since 2023, now seems almost inevitable, according to those on the ground. While Kiev denied Russian claims that Ukrainian forces in Pokrovsk have already been surrounded, saying that active operations stopping the Russian advance were still ongoing, Ukrainian soldiers on the ground have described an increasingly grim reality. The situation is difficult, with all types of fighting going on, firefights in urban areas, and shelling with all types of weapons, one battalion commander told CNN, speaking on the condition of anonymity for security reasons. "We are almost surrounded, but we are used to it," he said. Another soldier, who also asked for his name to be withheld for safety reasons, told the Russian military continues to press forward with large numbers of men. The intensity of their movements is so great that drone operators simply cannot keep up with the pace. The Russians often move in groups of 3, counting on the fact that 2 will be destroyed, but 1 will still reach the city and gain a foothold there. About 100 such groups can pass through in a day, a soldier from the Ukrainian Peaky Blinders drone unit told. Another soldier of the invading Russian army has surrendered to a Ukrainian drone and taken prisoner. In the village of Malaya Tokmachka in Zaporizhia region, 2 Russian soldiers in a trench were targeted by a Ukrainian drone. Although one of the soldiers tried to resist by firing at the drone, the other immediately revealed his intention to surrender. Taking this into account, the drone guided him toward the position of Ukrainian soldiers. The Russian soldier, traveling a long distance along the railway line, threw away his weapons and armor and reached the position of the Ukrainian fighters.
Russia's military political leadership may agree to end the war if the continuation of hostilities threatens them with the loss of statehood. Expert from Ukraine Vitaly Portnikov stated this on Espresso TV. Polish Foreign Minister Sikorski is right when he says that any country gets exhausted during a long war, even one as large and with such a population as Russia. Of course, if the West were not helping Ukraine, there would be no such danger for Russia. Russia could have waged a slow war for many years and then taken advantage of the result. However, Russia is fighting, one might say, against the financial system and the defense industry of the civilized world. Therefore, at a certain point, Russia may not have enough strength to continue the war, and indeed, an economic collapse may occur in Russia. Portnikov explained. The journalist emphasized that Russia may face a dilemma, either end the war or use nuclear weapons. He believes that such a choice will sooner or later confront the leadership of the Russian Federation. By the way, we often compare modern Russia with what happened to the Russian Empire. However, it seems to me that a better analogy would be Germany during the First World War. Germany capitulated to the Entente powers when there was not a single Allied soldier on its territory. What's more, German soldiers were located in many countries around the world at that time. The military political leadership of Germany then understood that if things continued this way, the country would be destroyed and Allied troops would calmly reach Berlin. They decided it was better to capitulate early, but not lead to a complete collapse of statehood. I think this could also happen in Russia. At some point, they may conclude that if they continue to fight this way, Russia will face a dilemma. Either use nuclear weapons or agree that the war must end. I don't know what Russia will choose, but such a choice will come sooner or later, he added. What is happening is very worrying for Russia's military political leadership. Many of them want President Vladimir Putin to end the war because the situation in the country is critical. Russia's economy is paying growing costs for its expensive war against Ukraine. With Trump back in office in the United States, the new American administration is busy with reaching a quick deal to end the devastating war that harmed not only Ukraine but also Russia. The weakness of Russia's economy could be a decisive factor to force it into negotiations on the West's terms, rather than those of the aggressor. Russia's rapid economic growth is heavily fueled by war spending rather than sustainable productivity. Meanwhile, rising wages have contributed to soaring inflation, which the central bank has struggled to contain. Both citizens and industrialists are feeling the pressure. Food prices are climbing, and doing business is becoming less profitable. Some economists caution that Russia may not just be muddling through, but slowly slipping towards stagflation, a dangerous mix of economic stagnation and high inflation.